Hey guys, this is Flash X-007 and today I'm going to unbox the 1 to 100 scale Master Grade Gundam Crossbone X-1 Verka. So without further ado, let's begin. Okay, so to start things off with this side, we have information about the Master Grade and probably comments from Kataki or anything along those lines. Well, unfortunately, I can't read it, but for those that can, I definitely encourage it because it's always fun to read stuff like that. But other than that, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pictures of informative features of the gimmicks. So the first gimmick would be the face, how it opens up, and the second one would be the core fighter, the cockpit, the beam knuckle, which is what I like to call it, and also the cape and the weapons in general. So it comes with 2 beam knuckles, the sword beam, which is again what I like to call it as of now. I'll look at the name later on. And also the rifle right there, and the front and back skirt weapons, the dagger. So pretty much it's fully loaded. And let's look at the price tag on this. It retails for 3,500 yen, and the release date was, I believe, 2006. Yep, 2006, made in Japan, and of course by Bandai. So pretty much rather nice. And here are the specifications, and this is where the names of the weapons are as well. So it has 2 Vulcan guns, 2 heat daggers, 2 beam sabers, 2 scissor anchors, those are probably the front skirts, 2 brand markers, those are probably the back skirts, the Zambuster, that's probably the name of the sword, and the Buster gun, and the beam Zamber. Again, I'm not really sure about the names or what's named what, but pretty much you get the idea of the names. And to wrap things up for the box, it has a front and back view of a professionally painted Gundam Crossbone X-1. So just by looking at the finished result, if that's really what you're going for, if that's really what you want, then definitely painting is recommended. Now throughout the unboxing, I might make comments and feedbacks or thoughts on where I think painting would be nice. So let's check it out. So to start things off with the runners, here is B Runner. And the model itself actually has majority of the same color design that the new Gundam has, so rather similar in terms of colors. But for the most part, just looking at it right here, this is all the navy blue you're probably going to see on the model in general. And also, I'm not sure if I can find it, but here we go. So on the B Runner, you're going to see these pieces. These will be marked and hidden using stickers. But if you don't want to do that, you can definitely paint it up, which is what I want to do. But that's also something I recommend. So definitely check these small parts out, and when you can see them, when you can see them, and when you can see the possibility of adding detail and maybe making better, definitely go for it. It won't hurt at the end of the day, and you will have stickers. So if you messed up, you can always cover it up. But that's pretty much it for the B Runner. The next runner would be A, and A Runner is always popular for being the multicolor runner of the bunch, and this is no exception. So here we see yellow, white, the pink from the beam sabers, and clear right there at the top. And the clear parts are for the face, the cockpit, and I don't know about the third one. But the beam effects are for the Zambuster and the beam rifle. I really can't, I'm sorry for mixing up the names, but I can't really tell which one, which is which. But what I really like about the version Ka, which is why I really chose it, is because of the realistic detail of these skulls and the overall general factor. So the design is more favorable compared to the full cloth, which is just all out weaponized, and it has a cartoony skull design. So this won me over definitely. But the skull is rather really detailed, and it will look really good once it's panel lined and detailed up. So it's white for now, but later on it will have black eyes. But that's pretty much it for that. And for other things, the yellow, just looking at that, that goes on the main chest right there on the front. And you see the front and back skirt details right here. So pretty straightforward, short and simple, and you also see the head. And again, I'm just giving you guys pointers and feedbacks on what you need to do if you don't have the Crossbone yet. Right here, I'm not sure if the camera can pick it up, but there's a scribe panel, and what you need to do is run it over with a red marker or red paint, and that's going to be the red line going down the face or the eyes. And if you don't do that, it's going to be staying white like that. So definitely, these are one of those models that you need to paint up. And that's pretty much it. I don't really want to focus on one runner for majority of the video. But moving on, here are the stickers, the decals, and the ceilings. So it goes in order: stickers, decals, ceilings, which is why I like to call it. It's probably called markings if you really want to have the proper term. But that's pretty much it for that. Next up is D-Runner, and this is majority of their armor plates. So you're going to see detail for the core fighter, the legs, the side of the legs, the thighs, the feet, the arms, and the detail that this is the piece that the beam saber attaches to, that goes onto the arm, and pretty much you get the picture and the idea. So generally, just looking at the detail, and especially on the core fighter, it really looks fun. And honestly, this just really gets me excited, and maybe I might paint it, maybe I might not, but I do recommend it. And speaking of which, this is the F-Runner, and what I recommend you guys do is paint the pistons that this model has, because it'll add detail, and overall, once you add detail to the frame, that also shows up on the armor when you pose it in certain ways. So when you bend the legs up, the pistons show, and it would look better to paint this rather than to have it all in one color. But pretty much just looking at it, the color does look gunmetal. It does look like a gloss finish, but it also has a darker appeal to it. So I kind of want to say black, but it's more of a blackish gray. But pretty much the detail is there to be seen, so generally you get the idea. So that's F-Runner. And this should be H-Runner, if I believe correct. Yep. And here you just see more detail and also the skirt details. So yeah, definitely you get the idea. And really, what's really interesting about the Crossbone is the fact that you don't really get that many inner frame runners. It's actually a rather small size. And realistically, the Gundam is 15 meters tall, I believe. So the 1/100 scale Master Grade is going to be shorter than usual Master Grades. But I'll compare it in a video for you to satisfy your curiosity. But this is the last white armor runner, and it's called E-Runner, and this is where you see the weapons. This comes in one piece along with this. However, this is split up into two, and it actually makes sense. But I was actually surprised to not see this and split up in two. That's what I usually see in weapons, but it's actually cool that they did that. That's actually a good thing, because I don't have to worry about seams now. But definitely, yeah, you're going to have to paint that, and especially the manual. It really emphasizes it, so it's going to look really horrible if you don't. But at least run some panel lines over and maybe color it up just to add more detail to it. Otherwise, you're really going to have a lackluster weapon. But that's pretty much it for that. And to wrap things up with the runner, the figure. Now, all the parts are rather detailed, so that's a given. But the figure, it's larger than the usual figures that I'm used to. Now, I've had many Master Grades by now, but definitely this is by far the biggest figure I've ever seen. And I really do emphasize that, so I'm really surprised by that. And it's actually a good thing, so for people that enjoy painting little small figures, that's really good, because then you don't need to focus in as much. Well, you still do, but still, the size does matter, so at the end of the day, that's the idea. And this is probably F-Runner. There's two F-Runners, and again, I emphasize that you paint the pistons and slight details of the inner frame to bring out detail. Otherwise, you're going to have one flat piece. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but personally, now that I've started to paint models, I see the reason why people do it. And not only is it fun, but at the end of the day, you also get something more personal. And here's the beam sabers. Sorry for going on, but I really want to give my own opinion while at the same time covering the runners. There's a J-Runner. I'm not sure why they include the J-Runner with just two pieces. Probably figure that out later. This is the only red colored runner, and this is C. So basically these are the feet and the arms and the face. So pretty much you get the idea, and just a look at the detail, pretty straightforward. And these are the wire cables. It does not come in two pieces. You have to cut it up, and you got to be precise with it. So I will put this aside for when I can feel confident in cutting it up. I'm not saying I'm not gonna include it in the review, I'm just saying it's probably not going to be done until the day of the review or something like that, just so I can straighten it out and this and that. So you get the idea. So basically just be careful, because once you cut it, there's no going back. And it does look like wires. Definitely does look like wires. There's a little copper inside right there. So I'm not really sure what it's made out of, but it serves the purpose of posing the skirt gimmicks. So to wrap things up, here's G-Runner, and you just see majority of the detail of the skirts and the inner frame of the skirts. So again, you can paint this, but the pistons are probably more easier to paint than this. So it's understandable if you're intimidated by something like this. But it's not hurt. It doesn't hurt to try. You learn, and then you do better. And here is I-Runner, and this is the last runner. And you really got to prioritize this runner, because this is where you see majority of the detail and majority of the important parts, like the thrusters, the chain for the front skirt, the legs, which is really detailed, I might add, and the dagger. So pretty much it's like a double-sided. So once you bend it, basically you're going to see double. So each side has a double of one another. But pretty much, again, you get the idea, and it's rather nice. But that's pretty much it for the unboxing of the Crossbone. Let's check out something else. And here's the cape, the most important part about the model, at least in my opinion. A lot of people discredit it and really have a hard time with it. But honestly, despite the obvious hard times I'm probably going to see with it, I really look forward to trying this out, and I will definitely pose the Crossbone with this cape, because it's something that I don't usually see in models, so I really do value it. But let's also check out the manual. The video is probably going farther than I wanted it to, but I can't wrap things up without going over the manual. So here's the front, and Katsuki Hajime always has a great design, and I really do like the theme, just making it all white, and just focusing on the design and the detail of the model and the line art and the sketch that he made. So pretty much, once you open it up, the first page is going to be his line art, or his art of the Crossbone. And that's what the model is based out of. And here you see the sketches and the concepts of it. And then once you open it up, you see information about the model. So front and back, again, picture of the weapons, some more detail about them, explaining them. And also, I really do like this segment, shows the inner frame. And again, you can paint the inner frame right there, the pistons. There's two right there on the top. And you can probably do some more work with it. But also it shows a front view, and again it also focuses on the skull. So basically these pictures, by what I can tell, it shows you that you have two options, skull or this. And I am definitely going with this. I would be crazy to do that unless I want to paint it in X2, which I don't. And here's the cape. What I really want to do is copy this pose, or maybe do more of a dynamic pose with it. However, have it hold the sword, but at the same time the rifle, if it's doable. If it's not, I understand, but that thing's going on. There's no doubt about it. But here's the core fighter as well, and again, another concept sketch of it, and it also explains the manga, which is what it's based out of. So definitely check out the manga if you haven't. And here's more information about it, and here's the X2 and the X3. Correct me if I'm wrong. The X2 is definitely the same, except it has a different V-fin, and it also has a shot lance, but that's pretty much it. The X3 is definitely different. It comes with different weapons, I think, but yeah, that's basically it. And here it just gives you guys an idea of what runners are included, just for you to check it off. Then goes on to the build. I actually like this. This is a 2006 manual. It's actually rather nice pictures. I didn't really notice this at first, but it's definitely different compared to what I see in 2013. But there is no colored section in the middle like you usually expect. Here at the end, it shows you a complete diagram on applying the seals and the decals, and the color chart. And that's basically it for the Crossbone X-1 Verka. But before I end things off, I have something to show you guys, and it is something that I showed you in the Gunpla special, or the unique video as well, and it's this. This came with the box, and I'm not sure if anybody used it yet, but definitely use it if you live in Hong Kong and if you saw this video. Definitely, I don't want this to go to waste, so if somebody can use it, I would feel better. But that's basically it. So definitely go to hkgundam.info and enter this code, or register before you do it. I'm not sure if it's the current campaign, but it wouldn't have been sent if it wasn't. But that's pretty much it for that. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed. Comment, rate, and subscribe, and look forward to my review and more. This is FlashX007, signing out. Peace.